Going back in time, taking a leap into the past. These are the excavations at Ostia Antiqa, suspended between the magic of the present and the eternity of history. Inns that conserve clear traces of their ancient regular customers. Houses which still seem to echo with the cries of the tenants and rouse between young boys among the stairs and balconies, the courtyards and the marketplace where the capital dominates. All this just 25 kilometers from the capital city, under the scented umbrellas of the pine trees, and only a short walk from the sea. The route we're about to undertake is one which will allow us to plunge into another dimension, which will let us enter through the main gate of a glorious history. As soon as you walk into the archaeological area, you'll find yourself here in Via Ostiense, which inside the town forms the Decuman Massimo, the main street in ancient Roman towns. Running east to west, it crossed the Cardine Massimo, the perpendicular road, in the north-south direction, and divided the territory assigned to the encampment, village or town, which was to be built in 4 sectors. Along the stretch of road outside the walls, almost exclusively on their south side, you will notice various types of sepulchres. It's well known that the Romans did not bury their dead inside the town walls, but along the main arterial roads. Various types of burial have been documented, dating from the 2nd century BC. Initially, the commonest rite was that of cremation, although later internment became more widespread. Leaving the necropolis behind, the remains which we find facing us are those of the walls from the Republican period and the Roman Gate. The Roman Gate, consisting of 2 openings flanked by 2 rectangular keeps, is one of the 3 gates of the second walls, together with the Marina and Laurentian gates. Thanks to inscriptions which have been found on the gate, it's possible to arrive at a precise date for its construction, from 63 to 58 BC. Already by Claudius's time, the necessity to guarantee the safety of Ostia against fire was felt, so much so that it was the emperor himself who provided the city of Ostia Antiqa with a detachment of an urban cohort, a sort of barracks for the fire brigade. Only under Domitian, however, was a garrison of 400 firemen established permanently at Ostia Antiqa, and the first barracks were built on a plan similar to the present ones. Inside the building, the soldiers' rooms look onto a courtyard with an arcade, provided with a bathroom on one side and a chapel on the other for the imperial cult. During the restoration carried out in Severus's time, a vestibule with a mosaic showing the scene of a sacrifice was added. As the sun goes down, the theatre awaits us with its stage, today bare, and its hard and comfortable seats. But the starry summer sky above us, spectators and the actors, makes up for any discomfort. The inscription of the dedication informs us that the theatre at Ostia was built by Agrippa between 18 and 12 BC, in a zone inside the walls, in the area north of the Decuman. It's therefore a very old building and has a capacity for seating 3,000 spectators. Together with the Coeval, Piazzale della Cooperazione, which lies behind it, it forms a grandiose complex. It was renovated in 196 AD to allow for the continual growth in population, which was such that by the end of the 2nd century, Comodo had the theatre rebuilt, bringing its capacity up to 4,000 spectators. In this late period, the theatre was also adapted for aquatic shows, still strictly pagan, in which the Nereids and nymphs from classical mythology were portrayed in flesh and blood. The central entrance was also adorned and enriched with stucco work. From the outside, a portico can be seen, in which there's a series of shops and some stairs which lead to the tiers of seats. Particular to this structure, not to be found in other ancient theatres, is the main door, which leads directly to the orchestra. The tiers of seats, which are very wide, have been mostly rebuilt and were originally created with 3 tiers, of which only 2 have been conserved. The 3 rows of marble steps near the orchestra were the places of honour for important personages. The theatre has undergone other rebuilding over time, documented by the various remains brought to light in the first half of the 20th century. From 1483 to 1487, during the papacy of Sixtus IV, Cardinal Julian of the Rovere, a future Pope Julius II, financed the construction of the castle outside the walls, entrusting the works to a Florentine architect, Baccio Pontelli. The architectural complex, consisting of a system of casemates and firing rooms along the perimeter, which link 3 keeps, makes it an excellent example of Renaissance military architecture. The course of the river Tiber was decisive for the settling of the village, and together with the village it conditions the triangular form of the fortress, whose primary function is that of controlling the defense of the river. In the centuries that followed, the papal authority intervened with ordinary maintenance until 1736, when Pius VI, as part of a vast plan for land reclamation aimed at exploiting the Salina, repaired the damage that the fortress had suffered during the Spanish occupation. The systematic activities of excavation of the Roman town, first under Pius VII and then under Pius IX, led to the restoration of the building, which served as accommodation for the convicts employed on the excavations.